All right, greetings everyone out there and welcome to another video. Today I am back here in Birdsboro again at Union Meadows East for the third time. And if you saw my previous other videos that I did here, one was back in December and back in August of last year. I had to come back over here again to check something out, and it would help if I pay attention to these boards along here that, as RJ put, some cue cards. The area that I'm at in the back here, I said there was no historic value here or anything to it. Well, I was wrong. What I'm standing in right now, this whole area here, is another Desiltin Basin that was used to dredge the Schuylkill River back in the day.
Such as the one you are standing in.
Yeah. You can take a guess who's with me again. So, this guy, I brought him back along. So, we're actually standing in the Desiltin Basin here. And I got some information on that from a subscriber or viewer or something like that as to the history of this here. So they also told me that there's supposed to be some remains over here of the what they call a weir, which is the gates or whatever they use to let the water out or take the silt out when they dredged it out of the river that's over in the back there. So this is the Union Meadows East Loop Trail we're going to be exploring today. Plus we're going to be venturing back up the Pennsylvania Railroad again, as I found out more information on that after I uploaded the videos. And we're going to look for the remains of a spur that went into the former armor cast building over there, or Birdsboro Steel, whichever name you want to call it. We're going to check to see if there's remains of the signal bridge that's there, and also the shack, and see if we can find the actual spur that went in there. For those of you that are wondering how Birdsboro got its name, it was named after a person who had ore furnaces or iron furnaces along the Hay Creek in Birdsboro. His name was William Bird, and he had those furnaces along there, and that's how Birdsboro got its name. As far as armor cast, Birdsboro Steel was over there, and they were awarded an Army contract. Don't know the exact year, but they started making armor plating for the Army tanks. That's how it got its name, armor cast. They lost the contract sometime, I want to say the 80s or something like that, because the plant actually shut down in 1988, was left abandoned for many years until about 2015 or so, when they tore the building down, imploded the smokestacks that were there, and built the gas-fired power plant that's there today, which you'll get to see. Hopefully we can get some shots of that. So come along with me and RJ, and let's see what we find today.
It's your own catchphrase.
I said, come with me and RJ.
You said, come along with me and RJ.
All right, come along, come whatever. So this is the board that I showed in my previous videos, and if I would have read it, and it says, such as the one you're standing in, it would have alerted me to the area behind me here, which is all this area here. So this whole area behind us that you're looking at right now is
where we're standing.
And probably, yeah, where we're standing right here. So this was a Desiltin Basin, one of the Desiltin Basins along here. Again, there was, you know, this one here up in Hamburg, along the Bartram Trail. There was one up there. There's the one down in Saratoga, which I filmed already, and there was one down around Phoenixville, around the Black Rock Dam, somewhere down in there. There was another one. I'm sure there might have been other ones along here also, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. So we're going to be venturing down this path and doing a complete loop all the way around and coming back down again.
Kind of go down.
And the things we're noticing here now, the trail here, the loop, we're actually on the mound, or whatever you want to call it, of the basin, because if you look, if it shows up on the camera, as we're walking along here, the elevation is getting higher up. So this would have been the earth, the man-made mound, whatever you want to call it, of the basin. As the parking lot's over there where we started the video, we came down, got on the trail there, and we just started noticing the elevation change along here as we're walking. So we'll see how it goes as we venture further down the trail. And we're venturing further down the trail, and it is definitely getting a steep drop off here. That you can clearly see that this was a basin here of some sort. So the further we go along here, we're seeing marshy areas there, marshy area over here, and it's getting deeper as we go here. And I also want to check out some geocaches that are along here, which I haven't done in a while, and I keep forgetting when I'm out filming at these places to look for some geocaches. And there are some along the trail here, so we're going to see if we can find those geocaches while we're here as well. But apparently this is a parking lot over here, which they're calling it a boat ramp area, so I'm guessing you can put boats in the Schuylkill River along here, although it's not deep for a regular boat, so maybe like canoes or kayaks or something like that. You can come down here and park there and launch into the river. All right, so we came to the staircase going down to the parking lot, and over there is the Schuylkill River and the boat ramp area, but I just found one of these things here, which these are sort of like geocaches, but they're not. These are these painted rocks that you go and go onto the website or whatever, or on Facebook or something, and log the rock where you can keep it or re-hide it again. So there's one of them here. So we're going to leave that there for somebody else because I really don't collect them. But I'm in the area here of where a geocache is supposed to be. So I'm going to look around here real quick and see if I can find it. All right, for you train lovers out there, there's a bonus for you. Looks like we got a intermodal going through there. 2 engines on the front. We'll see if it's got a any distributed power in the middle. Oh, guess not. That was a short one. But there you go. All right, so success. We found the geocache. This is what it is, and if you're not familiar with geocache, and I'm really not going to go into length here and explain it, but what I like to tell everybody is you're using billion-dollar satellites to find Tupperware containers in the woods. So the log is in here, we found it, and we'll replace it where we got it and move on down the trail. All right, so I came down here to RJ to the board that's down here, and there's actually pictures here of them with the dredging process, and they have a map of the trail loop here and everything. So yeah, obviously the name the berm trail.
There's a couple different trails.
But it looks like there's actually 2 trails here, which is
Vernal Pond Trail.
Yeah, so there's another trail going off to the side here, which we didn't take, but we're right here. So this is probably, this is like the driveway.
That's the one we're on. That's the Vernal
okay.
Trail. This is the Vernal Pond Trail. It goes over here.
Okay, so there's actually another trail there yet.
So back where the parking lot is, where we were, we could have taken that one, which we passed it when we walked into this one.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Right there. So that's what that is. That comes and meets back up with the berm trail.
So
if you look on this one, it actually shows it has a loop in there too.
So yeah, so there's actually two different trails over here that you can take, but down here's the river and the boat launch area. Like I said, the river, to me, I wouldn't be putting a regular boat in here, but I'd say a kayak or a canoe or something like that, you can probably get in there. All right, so RJ pointed this out, and I'll zoom in. It's like there's an abandoned foundation right there across the river. Not quite sure what that would have been over there. But then there's more. There's another building right there. Not sure if that was part of the railroad or what that would have been used for. They have another sign here, and we're gonna walk down along the Vernal Pond Trail here in a minute. But I guess this was put in here by a Boy Scout who was working on his Eagle Scout project. So it just goes down into the weeds down there, but we'll walk down there and explore that trail a little bit and see if there's any interesting finds down there, and see if the gates or weirs that I'm looking for the basin, if they're down in there. All right, so I found geocache number 2 along here, and this is actually a pretty big one and looks like a well-maintained one. And yeah, all kinds of little trinkets in there for the kids and whatnot, but we'll sign the log here and continue on to the next one. All right, geocache number 3 successfully found along the trail here, and another well-maintained one. All right, so we came out of that trail, which is the beginning of the Vernal Pond Trail. So this is the backside of the recreation area here, because over here is where we parked. Actually, the parking lot's right about over there, I think. So we're gonna double back, get back on the berm trail, and see if we can find these weirs. So far coming down in here, we had no luck finding them along here, so maybe we'll find them further back. Where RJ's standing over there filming this whole area here. If you look how black the ground is along in here, this is all remains of the coal silt that was deposited in here when they dredged the river. It is very soft to walk on and very slippery. All right, still continuing down the berm trail here around the backside of the basin area. Still no signs yet of those weirs. And I guess I'm pronouncing it right. It's W-E-I-R-S. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen there. But it would make sense that these would have to be back here somewhere for draining the water out of these basins and dumping it back into the river, which is right over there. It's just about ready to give up hope here, because we're coming out and we're going to start going to the left, heading back towards the parking area and the rail trail. But off to my left here, it presented itself. Yeah, there is one of the weirs. So we're gonna see if we can get down there at all and explore that a little bit more. But I think this is the only one we're gonna find here. So we're gonna walk around and see what we can find with it. All right, so looking around here, it really doesn't look like there is an easy way of getting down there to it, because it is extremely steep. So this is probably as close as we're going to get to it, but we're going to zoom in here, and if you look right at the top there, there's like holes in the concrete there, and I guess that's where the water passed through once it got to a certain level or something like that, and just filtered, you know, flowed into the, I guess maybe the next area of the basin. I tried looking for information online for these things, and it's very limited as to information, but I do have a blueprint of a drawing for one of these, which I'll put up on the screen. And I don't know if there's any more descriptive information in that blueprint or not, but finding information on these desilting basins is very hard. All right, so I'm looking at this again, and if you look right on the side there, you can see steps that go up. Like you can climb up to the top of it, and then inside where the openings are on the top there, like I said, I don't know if the water actually filtered down in between the concrete and then out, or if it came out of those holes and just cascaded over the other side. But RJ's saying he found a piece of concrete on the other side over here, so I don't know if there would have been a culvert or some kind of drainage pipe here or something that the water would have flowed back down into this creek here, and then this creek flows down to the river, which is over there. We're actually getting further away from the river right now. It's right over there through that tree line.
Right there where all the stone is.
So he's saying there might be an opening down there, but I guess the concrete he's talking about is right over there is that other piece of concrete. So we're not sure. If anybody has any information, feel free to leave it in the comments. But success, at least we found what I was looking for. All right, RJ braved it, getting down there. So he's gonna check that out. I'm debating if I want to try and get down there because my hip and my knee isn't the greatest for doing that kind of climbing, but might try and venture down there and see what we can find with it. All right, so I made it down here. Getting out could be a different story, but this will give you the size of, you can actually see how tall this is. And
if you look through here, you can see through to the other side and see the crack on the other side.
Oh, okay. So, and of course, if it needs to be climbed,
I will climb it.
He will climb it.
At least they give you convenient little handles up here. Oh yeah, see these are all just like slid down in, so you could actually lift these out.
Oh, so the tops come off, and it's all hollow inside.
These come out.
Oh, those come out.
Those come out.
So the sides here come out.
They're in like a track.
Oh, okay. So I guess that's how you let I guess you put them in once the water level gets to a certain point. You just stick them in for the water to get deeper, almost like a dam. So he's up there doing that. And I guess it's the same on the other side then.
And it goes down deeper than the ground.
So it goes further than ground level.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so he was just moving one of those cement slabs there, and they are movable and everything, so you just pick them out. And again, you want the water to get deeper or whatever, you just put more of them in for the water to get deeper. Sort of like what we saw when we were over at the Sixpenny Park at the waterfalls over there. It's a similar design to what we found over there. So I'm going to let him climb down from there. I'm going to stay down here till he gets down from there, and then we got to try and climb back out of this thing. Climbing up there, that's where we came down, so this should be interesting getting out of here. All right, made it back out onto the berm trail again without breaking our necks, climbing back up that steep bank there. So this is going to loop back around out and meet up with the extension that goes up to the old Pennsylvania line, and then we're going to be venturing out way out through there towards that power plant that's off in the distance. If I zoom in there, you can probably see it through the trees there. So we're going to venture out there and see if we can find the remains of the railroad yet. All right, so I did find geocache number 4 along the trail here, and thanks to RJ for climbing down the side of the embankment there to get it, because it wasn't where it was supposed to be.
A lot of thorns.
Whoever found it there previous time, looks like he just threw it over the edge and didn't put it back where it was supposed to be. So RJ retrieved it, got it up here, but unfortunately it's in need of some repair. It's another pill bottle, but the log inside is completely soaked. It's not in a plastic bag or anything, and I wasn't unable to sign it, but did take a picture of it anyway to prove that I did find it. So thanks again, RJ.
No problem.
All right, so we made it back up onto the trail, and just about down in there where my finger is where we left off in the previous video, where we turned around and head back. So we came out here further and we spotted this. So this was something to do with the railroad, but I don't think it is the tower, the light bridge that I'm looking for, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't see anything over on the side here, and I think this is too narrow yet. Where the picture is that I have of it, where the light bridge would have been, there were actually 3 tracks there. There was the main track, there was a siding going into Armor Cast, and then there was another little siding there, but I don't know what this would have been used for. There's still a chain on it there. So we're going to venture down here more and see if we can find more. All right, RJ just pointed this out, but looking down here, this might actually be the remains of the canal here, because back through here you can't see it anymore or anything, but this would be almost in alignment where it ran parallel with the railroad back there. But I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look at aerial images again, and I did see some from here, but I forget if this was the canal here or not. I'd have to double check, but clearly looks like it could have been there. We just had an aha moment here as we came walking down and looked. This is the spur I'm looking for that went back into the former Armor Cast building, and after talking with some locals that stopped on the trail here to talk to us and gave us information, which good information he gave us, this is the spur. So back that trail, approximately where that couple's walking there, where we saw that cement block area, that's where the light tower would have been. So I'm standing at the almost exact same spot that this picture is, and I'm going to put up on the screen right now and show you. All right, so we ventured in here. So basically this spur from the photographs that I saw goes down through there and just curves off to the left a little bit, where it's split out into many different tracks where they would unload the materials for the steel making process down there. But there is, but I did feel ballast along here, so this would have came out and met up with the main line there. So this is definitely the spur I'm looking for. And I even got evidence backing up that this was the spur, because right there is a railroad tie.
That don't prove nothing.
And if you look further down, there's more railroad ties laying down along there. And then this here would definitely be wide enough to have 2 tracks in here, like in that photograph, although over the years of people building houses and whatnot, the encroachment onto where the railroad used to be, from them moving, same thing down here. This obviously wasn't here, but over the years of everybody building, it just encroached onto the right-of-way. More red sandstone there from a culvert, though I'm not going to climb down there to get pictures of it. But there's another big culvert here at crossing over the where the railroad was onto the properties back here. All right, so we came up here a little bit further, and if you look right over there, I'm pretty sure that's the bed of where the spur went into the where the former steel plant used to be, which is now this big gas-fired steam power plant now. And you can probably hear that. So we're going to walk down here, but it looks like we're going to be going off of the actual right-of-way of the railroad. The railroad should have continued on straight before it crossed over or crossed under 724, because there was a bridge there, but there isn't anymore. And then it looks like the trail goes down to the right. So we're going to go down there and explore it a little bit and see if there's anything interesting down there. All right, so I'm going to zoom in, but if you look out there, right there is 724, and there should be some cars passing there. So there would have been a bridge right there where that steep embankment is. So it would have curved there, went under 724, curved to the left a little bit, went through the center of town, and then curved a little bit more and ran over right next to the former Birdsboro Steel building that's on the other side of town over there. So like I said before, with some of these rail trails, they follow the actual railroad, and then sometimes they deviate from them, because this is where it would have continued on straight there. All right, so here is the information board. I'll take a picture of it and I'll zoom in on it. You guys can pause it if you want. But this is exactly what I was saying about Birdsboro Steel. William Byrd, who the town was named after, and here's a picture of the building with the stacks. And what did they produce? And there's the information and some pictures up here of the inside of it, which is now this big place behind us here, which I'll walk out there, I'll give you a better picture of it. But there's the information of the Birdsboro Steel. So we're thinking here, I'm not quite 100% sure if this is the spur that we looked at earlier, and I'm pretty sure that that right there is the remains of the canal. If it's not, between the time I made this video and edited it and everything, I'll correct myself at the bottom of the screen there, but it almost looks like it. But because the spur came off of the railroad and then it branched off into many different lines or whatever. It was like a rail yard here where they had the cars and everything. So I'll put up, if I can get a good aerial shot of the plant from back in the day when it was in operation, I'll put it up there and you can see what I'm talking about with the different lines coming off the spur. So here I'll give you a shot of just how big the property was here, where the steel building used to be and what's here now. So there you can see the big embankment where there would have been a bridge at one time, where the railroad would have ran under 724 and continued over past those pine trees where my finger is there, and went over towards went through the center of town over towards the other part of the Birdsboro Steel factory. Then it would have continued off right around in there is where the railroad bed would have been, where my finger is. All right, so I found that geocache. We're going to walk down here to RJ because he said he found, you can see this culvert over here that we were looking at from the rail trail right up there. Don't know how good can actually see it, but I'll zoom in, and you can see right there is the culvert. And there you can see where the spur is that went back to the plant again. And if you look real closely in this shot, you'll be able to see the geocache. This one's pretty easy to find, but there's the spur going back there. So in that photograph that I put up there earlier, there should be, I was hoping we could find remains of the little shack that would have been on this side of it here. But I don't see any remains of it, nor do I see remains of the other part of the signal bridge. So that there, right, cement piece right there was part of the signal bridge that went across here. And I don't, oh, wait a minute, I spoke too soon.
Oh, there you go.
There it is. Right there.
There should be another one over here, right there.
Where's the other one?
Right in there.
Oh yeah, right back in between there. Can't see it that good, but right back in there is the other piece of concrete for the signal bridge, but I don't see the foundation or anything for the little shack that would have been over on this side here somewhere. And if RJ holds this open for me, it was this would have been the battery box where they had the batteries stored. You can see the electrical connections right there.
A bunch of debris in there.
Bunch of
frozen in there.
Bunch of stuff in here frozen in time, literally. But yeah.
There's the port where everything would have ran out the side there.
Yep, poured on the side there. And then of course here's the foundations on this side for the tower. Alright, so we're continuing down the trail, found another geocache somewhere in this area. I'm not going to show you the exact location. If you want to find it, you got to find it on your own.
It's over there.
Yeah, it's over there, back there somewhere. Alright, so we were looking at the picture that I have from back where the signal bridge was, and we looked down here and zoomed in on the picture, and what looked like, if you remember when we were here before, we filmed those concrete slabs. We filmed these concrete slabs and we wondered what they were. Well, when we looked at the picture and zoomed in, and we saw another one, and we're thinking that they were signals coming the opposite direction, and we thought there was a second one, and sure enough, over there is the foundation for one. So there were definitely signals here at one time, which is what these foundations would have been. All right, so found two more geocaches along the trail there. So all in all today, I think I might have found maybe 8 or 10 or something like that. There were 2 of them that I couldn't find or whatever. So, but that's all right. It's been a while since I did geocaching. RJ got introduced to it and everything. So, like I said, when I'm out filming these places, I forget, you know, to look for these geocaches, because geocaching is supposed to take you to a place of interest and everything. And when I'm out filming these places, I forget to look a lot of times to see if there's actual geocaches there and everything. So did my research today. Was a good day overall. Found a bunch of geocaches. Found that the weir from the Desiltin Basin, and found more remains of the railroad and everything. So good day all in all. So my thanks to RJ for tagging along on this one again. Yes.
You're welcome.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
You hear that? I hear rumbling.
Oh yeah.
I hear rumbling.
Of course we can't see it.
Can't see it, but we can hear it. There's a train coming.
Hold on.
There's a train coming in the distance. Well, he's getting his stick out there trying to film it or whatever. But anyway, my thanks to him for tagging along on this. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, thanks to the new subscribers that subscribed recently, and everybody that follows me you know, on all the social media and everything. Thanks for your support. So until next time, it's have a ball and do it all. We'll see you soon.